Hey guys, Cam here from PhoneDog.com, and Microsoft has made a habit of releasing affordable smartphones we can't help but admire. And the 640 XL is the latest in that long line of budget-friendly devices I have no issue in recommending. It's a solid device that won't cost the earth. The design is immediately familiar to anyone who's used or even seen a Lumia device before. The front is a perfectly flat piece of Corning Gorilla Glass 3 and the rear a removable plastic shell. This is the matte finish white shell, which is both attractive and comfortable to hold, and there are more colourful and glossy options for those who want them. Apart from the contrasting simple black Microsoft logo on the back, there's a 13 megapixel Carl Zeiss camera, the LED flash and a small pill-shaped speaker hole. The edges around the device are almost entirely flat, except for the small raised hump where the 3.5mm jack sits on the top edge. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a fan of nice buttons on phones, and I've been impressed by both the placement and clickability of the 640 XL's volume and power keys. They give just the right amount of feedback, and that's pretty impressive considering they aren't built into the phone itself, but rather the case. And they aren't easily confused, meaning you shouldn't find yourself pressing the volume rocker when trying to switch off the phone. At 9mm thin, it's not the thinnest phablet in the world, but to put it in context with another similarly sized device, it's only 0.5mm thicker than a Galaxy Note 4. So it's easily manageable, although at 158mm tall, it's hardly a one-handed device. Saying that, it's respectably light and weighs less than Samsung's metal phablet. As an overall package, it's good looking, understated and feels well made. Although I couldn't possibly lie and tell you it's incredibly premium feeling, I've nevertheless had phones which cost more and feel much cheaper. To save on cost, Microsoft opted not to go with a 1080p display on the 640 XL, and I can't help but feel that wasn't the right choice. Instead, we have a 5.7-inch 720 by 1280 clear black LCD panel, and it has a pixel density of just 259 pixels per inch. Now I have to say, the large display isn't terrible, far from it. It has a lot of contrast, which isn't usual for an LCD display. Blacks almost look completely black, like an AMOLED panel. This extra contrast gives the illusion of sharpness when gaming or watching videos, so the experience of using it is actually rather good. Colours are vivid too when looking at them head on. It's when you look at text that you notice the issues. Edges are a little fuzzy and you can distinguish individual pixels when looking at the screen closer than arm's length. Still, the size and the life from the screen should easily make up for that. One area that really surprised me was the camera. I was expecting the Carl Zeiss branding to amount to nothing, but boy was I wrong. The rear sensor packs in 13 megapixels and doesn't just produce sharp images, but great colour too. On a sunny day, the balance of tones and colours is truly impressive. Blues, greens and reds all come through brilliantly, leaving me with an image I wasn't even tempted to edit afterwards. And this was all in auto mode, not selecting any manual controls or presets. The one criticism I have is that it wasn't quick enough for my liking. There was noticeable delay when trying to snap an action shot, but for still photographs it's one of the best sensors I've used on any phone, regardless of price. As with many Lumias though, the video quality leaves a lot to be desired. Almost the opposite of still photography, there's too much contrast and not enough saturation in the video footage. Being a phablet, the 640 XL has a huge battery. In fact, it's 3000 mAh and it's removable. It might not be quite as much as the Note 4, but with the Windows Phone operating system being much more efficient, I didn't struggle to get to the end of a day once. In fact, sometimes I was pushing on 2 days on a full charge. And it's loaded with a Snapdragon 400 quad-core processor clocked at 1.2 GHz, which didn't really struggle at all with Windows Phone 8.1. And since it's running Lumia Denim, you get all the latest software features available to the public. Web browsing is fast and smooth, as are transitions between apps and screens. Scrolling is generally stutter-free too. Now, I wasn't blown away by speed, but there's an element of effortlessness and fluidity that I couldn't help but enjoy. It sometimes took a little while longer than I'd like to load games or apps, but generally it was a pleasant experience. There are several models of the 640 XL, including LTE and dual SIM versions, and the price varies depending on which you go for. Now the XL isn't currently available in the US, but in the UK it sells for around £200 on Amazon. That's £30 less than a Lumia 830 and slightly more than a Lumia 735. And for that kind of money, it's hard to criticise the phone. It's an affordable and attractive device with a great camera, great battery life and solid build quality with a huge screen. What's not to love? I've been Cam, I'm at phonedog_Cam. You can tweet me, follow me, or you can use the comments down below and I'll get involved as and when I can. And I'll see you again soon.